Good morning, friends. It is Monday, the 12th, I believe. No, the 13th of July. And we are about to start another week of Jane Austen July. Yay. And also some other things that I have on the docket this week. So, this is going to be an interesting week. I plan to finish today Recipe for Persuasion by Sonali Dev. I have been buddy reading this with Krista from Books and Jams. And we were talking yesterday, and Krista said, "Oh, I probably finish this tonight or tomorrow." And I was like, "Well," it was like 8 o'clock when we were talking at night. And I was like, "Well, I'm probably not going to read it anymore tonight." But I have been listening to it on audiobook, so I thought, hopefully, if it's quiet at work today, I can listen to it and get it finished because we're pretty close to the end actually. So far I am really enjoying this book. It's basically a contemporary romance. And yeah, so far it's not a direct retelling of Persuasion. Which I forgot to say that it's supposed to be kind of a retelling of Persuasion. That's why I'm reading it for Jane Austen in July. It's not really a direct retelling. There are definite elements of Persuasion in it, but it's definitely just it's its own thing. You know what I mean? Like the characters are not to me as likable as the characters in Persuasion. It's just darker. It takes a more modern tone, I suppose. So I guess that's why they just seem like more unlikable. But even the main characters, I don't like love them. Just I don't like them as much as I feel like I should for a Persuasion retelling. But we are both enjoying it, and I feel like right now it's sitting on like a 3.5 star for me. So an enjoyable book, but not one that I'm going to necessarily rave about. But we'll see. Hopefully, I mean, I know how it's supposed to end, and I know how this will end, but I'm just wondering if there will be some twists and turns in this one that will make it more of a 4 star read for me. So we'll see. And also, let me put down my coffee. And also on a non Jane Austen front, today I am going to start another buddy read with my friend Amanda from her Pacific Northwest Washington life. We are going to be reading After the Fog by, I don't even know, Kathleen Shelp. So this one, I saw Amanda Hall, and she talked about it being set in Donora, PA. And if you don't know, I live in PA, and I live about 2 hours from Donora. And actually, my grandparents grew up pretty darn close to Donora, PA. So she talked about there being this killing fog and that this was an actual historical event where a low-lying fog came in and trapped a bunch of the smelting particles from the steel plants, the steel mills. And because Pennsylvania is a big steel producing state. So, and it made people sick. It killed 20 people and made like 100 some people really sick with respiratory issues. And it was a very short event, but it had a major impact on this tiny little steel working plant or town. So when I saw her haul this, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to buy this book and we need to read it. So I am going to start reading this today with Amanda, and I'm really excited to start it. I'm hoping that it's good. And also, I will be taking a short, like, long weekend trip that just happened to coordinate with when I was going to read this book. And we could actually go through Donora, which, don't get excited, people. I have been to that area and it is not terribly picturesque. So it's probably not going to be great footage, but I'm going to take some pictures and hopefully get some pictures of the Monongahela River, which runs basically right through Donora. So maybe that will make it a little bit more picturesque. Let's hope. it's just not going to be that thrilling. It's not a picturesque historical town, from what I remember and from what I have seen when looking it up on Google Maps. It's not really that picturesque, but there is a Killing Fog museum there. But also, I looked that up and it looks a little sketchy and looks like it probably won't be open right now. So, again, that's probably going to be a fail, but we'll see. I'll see if I can get in. Or at least I'll take a picture of the front, which is not going to be thrilling again. So, but it'll be, it'll be a nice like tie-in with the book, right? So anyway, those are my two major things that I want to get done this week. I'm also going to try to get caught up on reading some of Jane Austen's letters, and I also need to start Elegant Etiquette because that is a short book that I have on ebook, and I should be able to read it, but I have just been like not doing things. I have just been not physically reading again this month. I don't know why. I have too many things that I want to do in addition to reading, so audiobooks is just where it's at for me. And this is for me in the future. I need to put in some footage of the two projects that I finished last weekend, the two knitting projects that I finished last weekend, because I was really proud of myself that I actually finished two things. I had 4 different projects on my needles for months. And I still have one that has been on for months that I still haven't finished, but I feel like that's just going to be a long-term project, but I need to make time every day for it. But I did finish 2 things. So I will insert that clip here and we will talk to you later when I have something more significant to say. Okay, so here are my knitting projects that I finished this this past weekend. So these are socks, obs, and I have been trying to participate in a summer sock camp that the channel Crazy Sock Lady has been doing. So I kind of took me longer than I anticipated that it would. But now they actually look like they're similar sizes, but actually this one is a lot shorter than this one. If you can see at the top, the ribbing is different. Because I played Yarn Chicken and I lost, and I didn't have enough to continue on with a longer ribbing. So I do like this ribbing better, but this works out just fine. And I've tried them on and they fit. It's lovely. So that's that. And then I also crocheted this little tote bag, which is going to house my knitting projects. So this is a float tote, it's called, by the channel Nitty Natty, who has like a Ravelry page and an Etsy shop and all that stuff. So I thought that I would buy this and make it, buy the pattern and make it out of some like old yarn that isn't like super soft to use for garments and things like that, but I thought it'd be perfect for a tote bag. So you're supposed to hold the yarn double, but that made it like super hard to work with. So I decided just to do it with like one strand of yarn like normal, and so it's a little floppier than it's supposed to be, but I don't care, it works. So I'm happy with it. So those are the two projects, the socks and the tote, that I made this weekend. Hello, friends. Happy Tuesday. Yesterday was a pretty busy day at my office, so I did not get a chance to update you when I got home because I was exhausted and I needed to read some chapters for my buddy read. So I just thought I will update you today. Even though it was busy at the office yesterday, I was able to finish um, A Recipe for Persuasion by Sonali Dev, which I was buddy reading with Krista from Books and Jams. And I think I've probably said a million times that this is a retelling of Persuasion by Jane Austen, which is my theme for Jane Austen July is Persuasion. So this was my first retelling of Persuasion, and I I think I gave it like 3.5 stars. It was good. It was a very loose Persuasion retelling, which was fine. But I think I was kind of more because I had just finished Persuasion, so I think I was just. Ooh, sorry. Whoa. Hello. I think I was in the mood for a like more exact retelling at the time. But there were some nods to it, definitely. And, I don't want to go through spoilers, but the premise centered around a chef and an old flame, of course, and they get put on a cooking show together. And yeah, it was more of a contemporary romance with a hate to love trope, which is fine, but I felt like there was more hate on the Anne Elliot side for Captain Wentworth's character. And in this, the names are Ashna and Rico. And Ashna, for a good probably 2/3 of the book, maybe half, just really seemed to despise Rico. And you never really got until the end of the book why she hated him and why they weren't together. She just kept saying betrayal, betrayal, betrayal. And I'm thinking, well, what? What did he do? Because if this is a Persuasion retelling, Captain Wentworth did nothing other than not being good enough for Anne. So, yeah, it was just kind of, it was its own thing, really. I mean, it had Persuasion elements, um, but it's funny, we kind of get an idea of what the next book in her series might be through one of the characters towards the end of the book, which is fun. And I liked the ending. I thought the ending was very sweet and kind of true to Persuasion in a way. And yeah, there were definite elements of Persuasion in here that I could pick out. Definitely the whole someone not being good enough trope, the bad parents thing, um, and the characters, her family members. But just Ashna and Rico both, we get both of their perspectives, which we don't in Persuasion. So that was a little bit different from Persuasion, obviously. And they also just weren't as likable. I feel like neither one of them was terribly likable, which is sad, but I still enjoyed it. So I think in the end I gave it a 3.5 um, upon reflection. So, but so today, and actually yesterday, after I finished Recipe for Persuasion, but I am starting After the Fog by Kathleen Schaup, or Shoop. So far, I'm really enjoying this. I am reading this with my friend Amanda from her Pacific Northwest Washington life, and obviously, she is in the Pacific Northwest. So, even in the first 3 chapters, which is all I've gotten through so far, there are so many things that I am wondering, is this just a Pittsburgh thing? And so I asked Amanda, I was like, do you know what yuns means? And have you ever heard that before? Like, I definitely know that yins is a Pittsburgh thing or a Western Pennsylvania thing, but I just wondered if, like, she had ever heard it before, because it is said at least once or twice in the first 3 chapters, and we get a glimpse of what we like to affectionately call the Pittsburgh toilet, which is just a toilet and possibly a shower in the basement. No walls, just a toilet in the basement. So, but I mean, it did serve a purpose back in the 1940s in steel mill mining type towns, because, wives didn't want their husbands tracking soot and things all through the house. So they stripped down in the basement and did their duties, did their business in the basement, and then came upstairs. So, I mean, it definitely serves a purpose, but it's not like a powder room, it's just a toilet. So, and the women characters in this are just very true to a lot of women I have encountered in like, a hardworking town. And that's not a bad thing. It's a character trait that I identify with from people that I know. So I'm not like throwing shade or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, the main character in this book, I'm like, yep, that is how a lot of women are in Pittsburgh. so so yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So I'm excited to continue on with that. And then I also got a message from Victoria that she soldiered on in this, even though she has like so many other big books going on right now. So she has hit chapter 44 in this, in Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson, that we're buddy reading. And I am only on page or chapter 30. So I am listening to this on audiobook today. So I am going to try to bust that out today. Hopefully today will be a fairly quiet day that I can do that, because Brandon Sanderson takes some concentration. So, but I only have 14 chapters to listen to. Easy peasy. So anyway, I'm going to go, friends, but I will check in with you probably when I've gotten something done, because I've been very chatty already, and it's only Tuesday. So I will just tell you when I've gotten something done that I can talk to you about. Okay, bye. Ask anybody why we living fast and we laugh, reach for a flask, we have to make this moment last. That's plenty. Hello, good morning. It is Thursday morning. It's been a minute since I updated, but that's pretty much because I haven't finished anything recently. So, but yeah, I'll just tell you what I am in the middle of, because I'm in the middle of a lot of things. I am continuing with my buddy read of After the Fog by I always have to look, Kathleen Shoup. I think I said Shelp in another clip, but it's Shoup. And I'm reading this as a buddy read with Amanda from my Pacific Northwest Washington life. And this has been really fun to read with Amanda. Amanda is from, obviously, the Pacific Northwest, so nowhere near Pittsburgh, PA, and nowhere near where this book is set, Donora, PA. So the fun thing about this book, because it's not like I need to switch arms already, my goodness. It's not like a fun, happy book. It's very upsetting, but it uses a lot of terms, a lot of slang, and a lot of landmarks and things that are specific to Western Pennsylvania, and specifically the Pittsburgh area, and like around Donora, which is only like 2 hours from Pittsburgh. So there's a lot of little things that are referenced in here that I'm like, I wonder if Amanda has ever heard about this before, or if this is specifically a Pennsylvania thing, and I just am so used to hearing it that I think everybody's heard of it before. So it's been really fun to read it with somebody who is not at all from this area, and to kind of explain to her what certain terms mean. Even though a lot of these slang words I have never used in my life and will never use, but I live in an area where those terms are very prevalent. So, but yeah, I am really enjoying this book. It's a very, let's see, it's a frustrating read so far. The main character, Rose, is a nurse, and she's a community nurse back in a time in the 1940s when I guess smaller towns did not have access or funding for doctors, like just, regular general practitioner doctors. So, community nurses were used and funded by the communities just for normal doctor care, prenatal visits, labor and delivery kind of thing. So it starts off with a really dramatic scene, and it was a really hard scene to read. And it really starts off like the mood of the book of like, whoa, okay, this is going to be intense. So, and it is like, the Pittsburgh area and the surrounding steel towns that were built up because of the booming steel industry. They're very hardworking towns. There's not a ton of beauty involved. They just, it's like a mining, it's like any like mining town story or mill town story, like North and South. It would probably be akin to Milton in North and South. It's gray. There's always dirt, there's always soot, there's always grayness, and you very rarely see the sun. Which, I mean, that is not so much the case now, obviously, because, regulations and things have happened to clean it up. Like, there is sun in the Pittsburgh area. I get plenty of sun in my area, about an hour from Pittsburgh. So, I don't feel like my lungs are being constricted with soot, but yeah, so it just gives a lot of insight into what it was like to work in the steel industry back then, when it was really lucrative to be in the steel business, but and it employed a ton of people, and whole towns were built up around it. But it was also very dangerous and very detrimental to the health of the workers. So, and obviously the townspeople, because just townspeople that weren't, directly involved in the zinc mills in Denora got sick when and died when this killing fog happened. So at this point in my reading, I have just gotten to where the killing fog is like claiming its first victim. So we're now like fully into it. And I'm a little bit behind where Amanda is. I've just haven't had as much time to just sit down and read physically. And when I do, I get tired and my reading slows down. So, but I'm hoping to get a lot more read of that this weekend. Sorry that I keep doing this. I'm actually taking Friday and Monday off of work. As of right now, the other secretary that I work with is back, so I felt like I could take a couple of days off for my own personal enjoyment. So, also, at least this weekend, I would like to start my Christmas in July-a-thon reading. And I wanted to start this, but I got into it late because I had already had my like whole TBR figured out for Jane Austen in July and Co's Week, and then my buddy reads. I had like a ton of books already on my TBR, and then my friends Sarah and Chloe and a bunch of other people announced the Christmas in July-a-thon, which is Christmas romance reading, and I was like, oh, I need to do that. That would be so nice and fun. So I picked up from the library Dashing Through the Snow for a couple of the prompts, and this is real short, and the print the font is very big, so I should be able to bust this out if I can actually sit down and read it. So, and I can also get this on audiobook, but I'm kind of feeling the just physically reading thing lately. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I can do it one of two ways, and the audiobook is only 5 hours. So, and I listen to things usually at like double speed. So, this will not take me very long, and then I can move on to another Christmas read. So, but I still have a lot of Jane Austen things to read. I have been slowly reading her some of her letters. I haven't read too many of them, but they're just really nice. And I mean, I don't really have anything to say about them because it's just little little letters from Jane to her sister, and probably at some point to her brothers and things like that, but mostly to Cassandra. So I mean, they're just nice. I don't really have any like critiques or anything because there's not really a theme to them, just family life and things like that. So, but they even the letters have her characteristic wit, so that's just fun to see that it wasn't just put on for her novels. She just always was like that. And I also started Elegant Etiquette in the 19th Century. I haven't gotten very far into that, so I would like to at least read a couple more chapters. So I will probably be taking my Jane Austen reading into August and having an Austen August because I just put too much on my plate this month, like I normally do. So, hello, it's me like 5 seconds later. I think that I will actually end this vlog here and make it a part one. And then tomorrow, Friday, start a part two, which I am planning to do like massive amounts of reading this weekend. And I'm going on a little trip with my parents. So hopefully, if the weather is nice, we're planning on maybe doing a lot of outdoor things. Obviously because of COVID and all that stuff, we don't want to be like inside in close proximity to a bunch of people. So, but we just wanted to have a little bit of a getaway, and things are more or less open at the moment in my state. So, um, but anyway, so I think I'm going to do a part two of this. So hopefully you will get more reading content in the weekend vlog. Oh, but I forgot to mention, you saw in my last clip from a few days ago that I finally watched Hamilton. And I wasn't really going to because rap's not really my thing. And I didn't want to sign up for a subscription to Disney Plus if I was only going to do it to watch one thing. But one of my best friends, who is not really into the theater at all, she actually watched it and she was like, I really liked it. And I'm like, okay, well, if you liked it and you don't like theater, I guess I should watch it. So, so I signed up for Disney Plus and I watched Hamilton. And I liked it. I will start there. I really liked it. I thought the first act was entirely too fast paced with too much information, though, and not having a basis really in Hamilton's biography. I felt really confused. But the second act was a lot more my speed. Like it was a lot more, there was still politics involved, obviously, but it had a lot more to do with his personal life, I thought. And it was a lot more emotional to me. I cried through like probably the last like quarter of of the show. um, so, and I was surprised that I didn't think that Lin-Manuel Miranda as Hamilton was the most standout character. And I don't know if the character of Hamilton just wasn't like supposed to be the standout, even though it's the title role, or if like the characters of like Aaron Burr and Thomas Jefferson were supposed to be like more of the stars of this show, which they totally were. Like whoever, I don't know the names of the actors, but whoever played Aaron Burr and Thomas Jefferson and Lafayette, because they kind of switched roles in the middle, except for Aaron Burr. He was Aaron Burr the whole time. But the character of Jefferson and Aaron Burr were just like fantastic. And Lin-Manuel Miranda, he was good. I mean, he's Lin-Manuel Miranda, but he just, I don't know. He was just kind of like that compared to them. I guess, I don't know. That might be a controversial opinion. I don't know. But saying that, I mean, Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote the dang thing, and wow. So so like, I mean, he's no chump, but I just thought that there were some other characters in this that were like by far superior in like just their performance level, I guess. So, but anyway, so that was my thoughts. I did like it. It's probably not a new favorite because I'm just still not like a biggest fan of like the rap music style. But I thought it was really innovative the way he threw it together with like more musical type numbers. And there's a debate scene that I thought was really cool with the rap style. So yeah, it was really good. I just, it's not like gonna be my favorite musical of all times. So, but anyway, so I just wanted to wrap that up and tell you what I thought of it. And I'm going to end the vlog here, and I will start a weekend, hopefully more reading centric vlog tomorrow. And maybe I'll have some more Jane Austen content for you. Maybe. We'll definitely have more Christmas and July-a-thon content, like any at all, because I haven't done that yet. And ooh, hopefully I will be able to wrap up after the fog for you. So yeah, okay. I'm gonna talk to you later. Bye.